And this minister friend from another state, he was actually from Washington, the Seattle area, Washington. He called me and says, get ready. Hey, I'm going on a trip to Jerusalem and I have one spot left. Do you want it? I said, what? He said, hey, I'm going on a trip to Jerusalem and I have one spot left. Do you want it? I said, you will never believe what I was just doing. I was just praying Isaiah 40 and the Spirit of the Lord said, I want you to go to Jerusalem and pray this over Jerusalem. He said, well, if you want the spot, it's going to cost $2,700. And he said, and that $2,700 is going to be due by the end of the week. I gulped, and then I said, I want the spot. How many know when God speaks to you something, if he tells you to do something, he's going to actually provide the means to actually fulfill it. And so, long story short, God provided the money. And about 2 weeks later, I'm in Jerusalem with 14 folk from all over the country. And we're coming into the city of Jerusalem. And the tour guide speaks a verse of scripture that I had read many times before. But this day, the scripture blew up in my spirit. How many have heard the verse, great is the Lord and greatly to be praised? Oh, yeah. In the city of our God and the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for situation, joy of all the earth. It's Mount Zion, side of the north, city of the great king. He speaks that scripture as we're coming into Israel, leaving the airport. And he makes this announcement that hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, you are about to come into the city of God, the joy of the whole earth. You are about to come into the city of God, the joy of the whole earth. When he says that, I was like, whoa. In my spirit, I'm like, this is God's city. And it is the joy of the whole earth. And I knew at that moment that I had not come just to visit Israel. I knew at that moment that I was there on official spiritual business from the King. I knew at that moment that I was either being summoned to his office as a student coming to the principal's office, or I was being summoned to his office as a teacher summoned to the principal's office. Either I had done something bad or I had done something good, and he was actually giving me something to do beyond what I had been doing. I knew one or the other. I was being summoned to Jerusalem. Think about that. I was being summoned. And I come into the city and I know I'm not here on my own accord. I had no thought of going to Jerusalem a month before. I had no money to go when he told me to go. So I knew that God had actually called me there. So my spirit was jumping. And I'm thinking, Lord, what is it that you're wanting? What is it that you called me here for? What is it that you want to tell me? What is it that you want to show me? Driving into the Sea of Galilee, I began to, I fell asleep on the bus as we're driving into Capernaum, where the Sea of Galilee was. And I went to